I'm Vicky of Bundertricks, and today I'm going to talk to you about Safewords, SSC and RAC. Okay, so Safeword is something that you and your partner choose before you begin playing, so that the person in the submissive role can then bring something to the attention of the dominant role. So for some people they choose a silly word like banana to shout out. For other people they use the traffic light system, which is green, amber, red. So using the traffic light system, you can use green to check in and say is everything okay, and the submissive can say green. You can use amber as the submissive to say actually the way that my wrist is tied up here is starting to hurt a little bit. So if you say amber, my wrist is starting to hurt, then the dominant knows that that is an actual concern and they should let your hand down into a different position quickly, rather than you just being a pain going, oh, I need moving. So it just puts that different delineation in, so the dominant knows that that is actually something serious, rather than just you making a comment to be a bit bratty, to misbehave a bit. And red, or if you've just got one safe word like bananas, that would mean stop the scene, something isn't going right, I need to get out of this situation that I'm in as the submissive. So that could be that you're tied up, you've got pins and needles, it feels really uncomfortable and you need to get out of that position. Or it could be more psychological, that you're being tied up and hit and that's actually making you feel unsafe or bringing back memories of a bad situation that you've been in, and it's not this fun sexy game anymore for you and you need to come out of that situation now. As the dominant, if you're submissive safe words, if it's amber, you need to pay attention to what they've said quickly so that you can get them out of that situation and change things up and then carry on as soon as they're comfortable again. If it's red or bananas, you need to respect that and take them out of that situation immediately. Don't panic. It doesn't mean you've necessarily done anything really wrong as the dominant, but you just need to get the submissive out of that situation into a better position. Give them some cuddles, give them some time, ask what they need from you, and don't worry, you can have a chat later on about what went wrong, why, how you can stop that in future. And it doesn't mean that you won't be able to play again, it just means you need to talk about things before you do and do things slightly differently. The reason that you use safe words rather than just saying no, ow, stop, ouch, is that in a lot of BDSM play you want to be able to say those things. Things are going to hurt, things are going to be uncomfortable, things might feel nasty, and you want to be able to play with that and enjoy that without worrying as the submissive that every time you say ow, the dominant's going to go, oh no, I need to stop, I need to take you out of the situation, I need to finish everything. So a safe word is just a way that you can still say ow, no, that's horrible, without worrying that you're going to stop the dominant doing everything that they're doing, which you're probably enjoying somewhere, which is why you're playing with it. If you're starting out and you're nervous about the idea of safe words, then don't worry about using them. Do just say ow, no, stop, and expect the dominant to stop. As long as the two of you have agreed that before you begin, you don't need to worry about creating a safe word and having that in place. You can just start off by saying, if you say ow, if you ask me to stop, I'm going to stop. And then as you get more into things later on and you do other scenes at a later date, then you might decide you want safe words so that you can play with things that hurt a little bit more. When you're setting up what things you're going to do in a play session, a lot of people will talk about SSC or RAC. SSC is safe, sane, consensual. Whatever play you're doing, a lot of people, particularly if you're starting out, you want to ask yourself the question, as both the dominant and the submissive, is what we're planning to do SSC? Does this feel safe? Do we know what we're doing competently enough, or do we need to research it a bit more before we carry on and try this thing? Does it feel in general to be a safe thing to be doing? Is it sane? Have we come up with some suggestion that sounds really hot and we're really excited about it, but actually it's not a very sane, sensible thing to do? Is it consensual? Have we both agreed on this thing? It doesn't mean as the dominant you need to outline in explicit detail every last little thing you're going to do with the submissive, but it means you need to give them a broad picture of, I would like to use canes, floggers, and tie you up a bit. Are you okay with that? The specifics of how you do it is something that you can keep some little surprises back, but you need to have given a broad picture and anything that might be outside of their comfort zone, so they have consented to it before you begin. If during the play you think of a really good idea and you think, oh, that would be really great, we haven't discussed it but I really want to do it and I think they'd be into it, don't do it. Think about it, store that in your memory, and then think about it for next time when you can bring it up to your submissive before the play and ask if they'd be okay with that broad idea, and then do it next time. And that way you'll have a lot of fun and it will still say stay consensual, rather than jumping into something just because you've had that idea part way through in the play. Rack is a little bit different. That's when people have been playing for a while and they think that the limitations are too big if you talk about safe sane. So rack would be risk aware consensual kink. So this is saying the thing that we've thought of, that we both have negotiated on, that we both want to do before we've started the play, is maybe not the safest thing in the world, it's perhaps not the sanest, but we both want to do it, we know what the risks are, we've researched to make this as safe as we possibly can, it's just an inherently slightly unsafe activity. So an example of this might be breath play. There is no 100% safe way to do any intense breath play. There is always a risk that something could go wrong and it could cut off the air supply to the brain for too long and you could kill your partner. If you've researched it properly, you know what you're doing, you will have reduced that risk, but there is always some risk. So that would come under risk-aware consensual kink, where you have decided that you both want to try something that is a risky activity, you've done everything you can between the two of you to minimise that risk, but you still want to do it. So if you get into play, if you get to events, you might hear people talking about rack rather than SSC, and that's the difference between the two of them. Thank you for listening.